I could have gone to Chelsea when I was at Notts County, David, and I didn't go down there. It wasn't because of the players. It was I didn't really think I could work with the owner at that time, Ken Bates, as much as what Potter thinks he can do. But it's a big
Is that a big
step
thing, Neil? In the decision, you look at the playing squad and you think great, but ultimately there's only one man who decides, or one owner that decides your fate and whether you're doing a good job or not, isn't there?
There is, but I mean, I know exactly how he's feeling now, Potter, because Graham will have thought he'd be terrified underneath at times because he's going to come up against egos that he's never met in his life or seen in his life. And when you've been at a club like Brighton, and I'm not being disrespectful, a family club, good fans, not really a lot of pressure. Yes, certain pressures, but not really a lot of pressures. He'll also remember the time 12 months ago where he got booed, which I thought was a disgrace at the time. And so the opportunity to come, I turned mine down. And you could say, did you regret it? Not really at the time. The only time I regretted turning a club down was Sunderland, believe it or not. I do regret not going there at the time with Bob Murray. But going back to Graham Potter, he will be worried. He'll be frightened death, but he knows his coaching. He'll take him through it. And he'll have the staff there to give him around. But deep down underneath, he'll be absolutely terrified of some of them lads. And he's going to get through that. Because as a manager, you are going to progress. I think the 200 grand a week, David, might help him relax. If I'm honest, I think that might be a softener. A softener for us. He might get some criticism for 5 years.
There is a time elapsing, obviously, between you being offered the Chelsea job and Graham Potter moving from Brighton to Chelsea. But he talks in the opening kind of chats, being Chelsea manager, about building relationships, building respect and trust. You mentioned just then, tongue-in-cheek, possibly the wages is just slightly different nowadays. Yeah. But the fundamentals of being a manager, they wouldn't have changed in that course of time with what you would have done, would they?
Not at all, no. And he'll be himself. I think he'll give a little bit more personal touch to the squad, especially the younger lads like Mount, people like that. I think he'll have more one-on-ones, probably an arm round one or two to get it. But at the end of the day, he hopes that he gets results early doors, which helps. If you get a few results, it helps him with the lads as well. But I think looking from the outside, it wasn't a bed of roses at Chelsea beforehand. And I think Graham, when you look at his position at Brighton, it probably was as good a time as any that he's going to leave. Because he's done a great, good job for 3 years, got a good on his CV, and a club like this with the sort of money that we're talking about, you can't really say no to that. But he won't change as a manager. What's got him the best at? He'll try and get these egos, these big egos. He'll try and get them working as a team, which is easier said than done. But if they sort of lock into what Graham wants, there's no reason why they don't become a force again, because it's a great got a good club now. They've got the man with the money that's come in. He's talking about a 5-year project. Yeah, listen, you can talk about what you want, but there's no such thing as a 5-year project in management. But if Graham does his job, he will want at some stage, when he set off, like I did in my Sunday League days, I wanted to manage a team in the top flight and at Wembley, and then my old club Sheffield United. He'll have his ambitions, and I think one of his main ambitions is to manage at the top level, but then to go into the Champions League and try and have a team that could win the Champions League as well as the English Premier League and things. And Chelsea are that kind of club. They proved last year they won the Champions League. So. And he'll want to establish the way that he is, because it's easy on the eye what Graham wants. But I can't stress enough, it's far easier doing that at Brighton than doing it at Chelsea. So he'll have problems that he's never come across before in his managerial career now, and he'll deal with that because with management, you have to learn by your mistakes, or you have to learn by experience. And it's only by being experienced and seeing what you've done wrong that you can become a better person and a better manager. So he'll be learning all the time now, every day, but he'll be excited because he'll know he's got a club now that week in, week out can beat anybody in the league. Whereas, when you're at a Brighton, you're at a club that, quite happy to stay in the Premier League. And if you're in the top half, it's a bonus. Whereas now, he's got a team that can compete, or hopefully when he builds it, compete at the top level for the top prizes.